Unfortunately, Dom, the word narcissist gets thrown around a lot. And a lot of people just use it as an expression, and narcissists call people narcissists while they're acting narcissistically. Okay, let's get really, really clear. Everybody has self interest to some respect, of course. And also, everybody can act narcissistically. Like when you're triggered into a wound and you feel insecure, you're not necessarily going to put your best foot forward in that moment. But somebody who is a narcissist, there's some really key components.
You are now listening to the podcast where authors inspire listeners to become authors, the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer, best-selling author, and book enthusiast Dom Brightman. And you're going to be listening to a different author that will inspire you to join the business of immortality, known as authorship. Now let the fun begin. Today's episode is sponsored by book number 2 from Dominic Dom Brightman, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer's 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. It is the field guide to help unleash the elite performer that is inside of you. Cop it today on Amazon.com or heading over to dombrightman.com and snag it in book, ebook, and audiobook, so that way you can take it on the go and get yourself on the go to your northbound success. Well, we're back at you again, my friends and fellow listeners, newcomers, and heck, maybe even, I don't know, maybe penguin hat wearing Ravens fans. That's right, indeed. And you're probably like, what the heck does that even have to do with anything? Nothing at all, because today's wonderful day is going to feature another super special, awesome human on the highlight reel builder for authors known as the Going North Podcast. Let me introduce you to today's fabulous author. She is an international best-selling author, folks, all the way from the good land of Australia, folks. That's right, indeed. So, as some Aussies like to joke with those on the U.S. of A., they're coming from the future. That's right, indeed. And apparently, looking at her, the future's beautiful. And today's wonderful guest is more than just an author. She is also a mom, a speaker, as well as a narcissistic abuse recovery expert and the founder. She found something, y'all. She's the founder of the Quanta Freedom Healing Technique. So let's give it up for the marvelous, tantalizing, and effervescent, the fabulous Melanie Tonia Evans. How you doing today, Melanie?
Dom, after that introduction, how could I not be doing great? Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's right. Hey, it's a plum pleasing pleasure. Saw the bio, and I'm like, oh, narcissism. Like, my God, I think the closest that topic was covered was probably, oh man, I think it was maybe 400 episodes ago with a guest who went through a
Wow.
category 5 divorce. Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Good to revisit.
Oh yeah. Name in the game, you got the deeper shovel. That's right, indeed. I hear your shovel is gold though. Yes, indeed. That's right, indeed. Sometimes platinum. But hey, it ain't about shovels, about the magnificent Melanie. So my goodness, if you were to describe your journey to the Melanie that you are now in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Hard as heck. That's what I would say. Well, that's the first thing that popped up, definitely. But you know what? So rewarding, and I'm so grateful for my journey. Absolutely.
There you go. So what made it hard as heck?
Well, I think for so many of us, we have to go through that near death experience to lose everything that we thought we were and everything that we thought we had to finally find our true self. And that was absolutely my journey.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Yeah, he's doing the good old homework. I'm like, man, checking out your background. It's like, dude, she was 87 pounds and she's looking this freaking gorgeous today. It's like, and was suicidal and now course creator, helping out millions of humans. That's right indeed. So yeah, like hard as heck. Yeah.
It was as hard as heck. And you know what, Tom? I'm not the only one. There's been so many people who've gone through malignant narcissistic abuse who have, and sadly, some people, didn't make it. Definitely, not even to surviving, let alone thriving. But I was incredibly blessed that not just did I survive, I absolutely was able to heal quantumly to a level where I could thrive. And that's why I'm so grateful and excited for growing up to discover that I was going to be a narcissistic abuse recovery expert, because that was certainly nothing that I ever thought I would be. It found me.
Ah, I hear you. Definitely indeed. Definitely indeed. 'Cause if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
I guess the childhood trauma going into early adulthood with two crazy guys, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and the second one
Yeah.
was 10 times crazier than the first.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, the first one, Dom, that was a real life and death experience. And I'd already had a lot of recovery under my belt by the second one. I was able to actually get out of that and recover and take back my life a lot easier than the first one, which was kind of awesome. But it was kind of like I still had more to go. I still had more to up level about myself and really get my boundaries. And I was like a lot of women where I really felt, quite powerless if I didn't have a guy in my life. And yeah, I had to really heal those parts of myself that were handing power away and looking for this big, strong man who I thought was my rock, who ended up being a hammer because I didn't have boundaries and I really struggled to let go. I kept trying to fix and change them into somebody safe rather than being safe enough with myself to pull away. So that was a real journey. But then it's becoming as a woman who is self-generative and able to be my own source directly with source rather than choose false sources to give me myself. That changed everything in my life, because then there's the ability to say no, and to say, rather than who do I have to be to please you to get love and safety, I am love and safety. So therefore, you need to actually be at a certain level of consciousness and responsibility and integrity and solution building and teamwork and kindness and care. Otherwise, you don't get a seat at the table. And it's a beautiful place to be.
Ah, there we go. Beautiful place to be. Definitely indeed. So my goodness, my goodness. So I guess in the space that you are now, I'm sure the transition was hard for you at I guess at first, because it can be hard to escape a narcissist, especially an abusive one. So my goodness. So I
Yeah.
guess starting with the definition of the term, so what would you consider narcissistic abuse to be, and what was it like through that transition period of escaping from one of them?
Yeah, okay. And they're such great. Unfortunately, Dom, the word narcissist gets thrown around a lot. Okay.
Mhm.
And a lot of people just use it as an expression, and narcissists call people narcissists while they're acting narcissistically. Okay, let's get really, really clear. Everybody has self interest to some respect, of course. And also, everybody can act narcissistically. Like when you're triggered into a wound and you feel insecure, you're not necessarily going to put your best foot forward in that moment. But somebody who is a narcissist, there's some really key components. They won't take responsibility. They're not accountable. They lack empathy. They can't put themselves in your shoes. So, example, they'll do something hurtful and you go, ouch. And then it's your fault for saying ouch. And they will double down on there's nothing wrong with what I did. And it's actually your fault what's happening at the moment. You're the bad, wrong one. Also, when you're trying to have a conversation with a narcissist about cooperation, they will go off onto tangents of excuses denial. They will trigger you with unrelated comments. And what happens is you feel like you're arguing with a child in an adult's body. Your head is spinning and you get triggered. And then when you get triggered, you're the crazy one, you're the wrong one, you're the one with the problem. And that's a very consistent aspect of a narcissistic person. They lie, Dom. They lie about everything, like small and big. They're a false self, so they lie. They also, when triggered, can be very malicious and very, very cruel. They'll throw you under the proverbial bus and they just don't care. They will absolutely bite their nose off to spite their face. If they're triggered, they'll act like a child and maliciously, and they don't care about the consequences. So they're also very entitled, very exploitative. It's all about brokering the deals in their favor. But of course, the thing is, Tom, they don't walk into your life with a t-shirt, I'm a narcissist. And they don't present those qualities on the table because you would never accept them. So they're actually highly pathologically skilled at being able to, well, most of them, to be able to charm you. So they're very good at listening attentively. They know how to get people as supply. So they can act very kind, very interested. They fact find. They'll ask questions to work out what makes you tick. But what they're looking for is something that's hurt you or is missing in your life so they can purport to be the answer, the solution. Because then and that's whether or not they want to have you get some money out of you, they want to have you for sex, they want to end up in a relationship with you, because narcissists seek relationships frenetically, not for the reasons we do, for the reasons they do, to exploit and to take and to have somebody pay the bills, keep the fires burning, and make life functional while they can be a narcissist. So, and go and cheat and lie and do what narcissists do. So where we're susceptible, because people say anybody can fall for a narcissist, it's actually not true. Where we're very, very susceptible is maybe, for example, you never got over being cheated on and you're still carrying that trauma. A man acts very caring and lovely, and you say, well, I got cheated on, it was horrible. And they're like, oh my God, I would never do that to somebody. Why aren't people honest about, I'm going to leave you before I cheat, right? And you hear that and you think, I've hit pay dirt. This is the conscious human being and I'm going to be safe. They're never going to cheat on me. But of course they do. So they're looking for a predator. Think of it like this. In Africa, a predator, a lion, is looking for the injured gazelle at the edge of the pack. A big, strong bison, they're not going to go for. So they're finding, right, where you are codependent, where you're still hurting on the inside and you're looking for a savior. Now, that really helps us to understand that, because you can absolutely be safe from narcissists. You can absolutely not get taken in by them. And it's about healing our wounds so that we're not leading with them where predators can latch onto that. But also, too, when you meet a narcissist, there are things, everybody reports this, there are things they say or do where your inner GPS, your God protection system, your intuition goes ding. And it's like, oh, that wasn't quite right. And rather than speak up and investigate and confront and lay boundaries, we don't want to lose their attention or affection. So we go, oh, I must have got that wrong. Or they're just having a bad day. And we don't stand in our truth. So a really good example, Dom, that I really hope can help people out there. When I learned this stuff, and before I got into a relationship with my wonderful partner, who's so not a narcissist, I was dating and a wonderful, man who ticked every box. We're on a third date and it's absolutely tonic. I'm still checking him out. And he let his guard down. He started talking about people at work in a really condescending, way. I've gone to the bathroom and I'm like, oh, that feels yuck, right? I've come back. He's all, so how do you think our third date's going? And I said, well, actually, honest, the way you talked about your work colleagues, I found it actually really very judgmental and not nice. And he went from, to blowing up, smashing the table. How dare you speak to me like this? Total narcissistic rage because he's been criticized and they've got a fragile little thin self that exploded. And anyway, so the date was over. I went to the car. I'm punching the air. I'm so excited. And I'm so thrilled with myself. I ring a girlfriend on the way home and she's like, why are you so happy about that? And I said, you know why? Because the old me, I would have been in the bathroom and thought, he's gorgeous. He's got a great job. He's funny. He's spiritual. He's really into me. Oh, that was nothing. But I went, ooh, yuck. I'm going to bring it up. And he completely exposed himself as a horrible narcissist. And I didn't waste another 3 years of my life getting smashed to pieces, or 5 months or 10 years and losing everything all over again, especially my soul and myself. So this is why I am so excited about, development and healing from the inside out and being able to be our source to ourselves. And Dom, the second part of your question where you said, what was it like to get out of that relationship? Getting away from him was one thing, but Dom, the aftershock, when you're with these people, you're tied in the fight, you're trauma bonded, you're in survival, you got adrenaline and cortisol, it's shocking. When you get out, what happened last week, last month, last year, hits you like a freight train, the stuff you never had a chance to process in survival. And you're actually worse when you get out. You really are. You are left with this horrible, obscene rumination and addiction to them. Your body is physiologically addicted to the huge rushes of cortisol and adrenaline and trauma that you've had. You feel like you're going mad. You have all this cognitive dissonance. You think, so many people go back. I went back about 20 times until I learned how to heal on the inside what kept me hooked to him in trauma bonds, which is the stuff I teach and what I help people with and coach them through with my programs and my support people. And okay, so because once you heal the reasons why you're hooked and addicted and trauma bonded, all the rumination melts away, all the obsession. It's like you come out of a trance and you're like, oh, yuck, what was I thinking? And you've still got to heal and you've still got to recover and you've lost everything usually. Like you've lost so much money and stuff. Narcissists are very expensive people and you have to rebuild from the bottom up. But the thing is, this time in your life, you're rebuilding from your soul, from the inside out, rather than being a human getting, right? I'm going to get stuff to make me happy. You become a human being because your soul and your beingness and your connection to source creation, God, became your true self. And then everything, Dom, is like the cherry on the cake. And that's when your real life begins. So, I nearly did die. Like I was 87 pounds. I hadn't eaten probably for 6 months. I hadn't slept for more than an hour for 6 months. I had a complete psychotic breakdown that I was told I would never recover from. I would need 3 antipsychotics to even function, but would never function again as normal. I had brain damage. I had every symptom of narcissistic abuse. Brain damage, complete adrenal breakdown. I could have had a stroke or a heart attack at any time. And Dom, I'm not good with aspirin, let alone fully blown antipsychotics. Drugs don't agree with me. So I knew it was game over. So I decided to exit the planet. And it was then that I had a spiritual intervention, which blew my my mind was already broken. My brain was broken. Maybe you have to get out of your mind or be out of your mind to actually get the truth. And I did. And it started this pilgrimage, this I was only at first on a mission to save my own life from the inside out. I had no idea it was going to touch the lives of millions of people. I really didn't. And I guess the rest is history.
Yeah, there you go. That's right, indeed. And good history afterwards, indeed. Definitely, indeed. And definitely a sign of growth, too, because, yeah, it's like, oh, going on a date with a guy the third date. And it's like, yeah, this sounds like a trap to me. It's like, but he's so freaking gorgeous. It's like, you know what? Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to be a good Melanie today. I'm going to ask about this and bring it up to him. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm avoiding this one like the plague. Definitely avoiding this one like the plague. Indeed. And so glad you're still here. So glad you're still here. Because, hey, all the stuff that
Same.
happened afterwards would have never happened. There's probably countless folks who
No.
probably would never gotten to the other side in this case.
Oh gosh, no, there's no way. I wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't have lived. There's no way. And, and it depending upon what you believe on, from a spiritual quantum point of view, an expansive point of view, I believe that I would have had to probably come back and just do it all over again. It was this time that I was going to defeat these trauma imprints and patterns that have been going on my whole life and way beyond that, to up level and finally go free. And I just, Dom, I would not accept billions of dollars to give up who it is on the other side of this. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Because, hey, like, money's great and all, but sure, it ain't going to buy you happiness and it ain't going to talk
No,
to you in that moment where it's like you're about to off yourself out of here. Like, that ain't what it's going to do. My
that's
goodness,
right.
though. So, with that transition period, you eventually published a fabulous book that is all over the freaking globe. You can thrive after narcissistic abuse. So, my goodness, what was it like putting that book together? I know it's been a few years, but my goodness, I'm sure it was a interesting process. Probably having to relive some of what you had to go through in putting the book together.
Well, interestingly enough, by the time I got to the book, I'd already been, working in the program and so much. And because I am a quantum healer, which means that the trauma energetically gets released and the light of source creation God steps in to replace it, I actually didn't have any trauma left. So my healing process is not about surviving trauma. My healing process is about going free from it. So I could look back, and have for years, on any situation I went through with him, and there's no emotional charge connected to it. It's like I'm looking at a movie of somebody else, even though I know it's me.
Yeah.
So freedom from trauma is what it's all about. And that's what thriving is all about, rather than, we're stuck in this whole system of trying to just manage the symptoms of trauma rather than healing them at their core, where they just don't exist anymore. And I'm passionate about the latter.
Ah, there you go. That's a good shift right there that you mentioned. It's like it's about freedom, not survival. Because funny enough, it actually reminds me of a past guest we had on the show, Corby Mitleid, who had breast cancer, and a lot of
Mm.
folks would be like, "Oh yeah, if they survive with their breast cancer survivor," but she's like, "Nope, I'm not a survivor. That implies you had a battle with something. I call myself a cancer dancer because it's all about just a dance with cancer. It's probably involved some
Yeah.
Lego bricks barefoot, but hey, it was a dance and not a darn fight. And just that switch
Yeah.
and that shift to freedom as opposed to
Big
survival
time.
is big.
That's so, so true. With the label of survivor, it say, well, I'm a survivor, and my inner identity is still saying I'm a victim of this. And unfortunately, whatever energetic signature you have as your inner identity is your continued future. Whereas, rather than I'm a survivor, well, I'm an up-leveled thriver, not despite what happened to me, but because of what happened to me. And it's so much more than, well, I just got strong and tougher and I got through it. And actually, narcissistic abuse isn't like that, because People who go through it are very capable, incredible people. Narcissists love to target people who are capable and credible because, therefore, there's a lot to mine from that. So, your capacity and your intelligence isn't the problem at all. And people who've been hit by narcissistic abuse are the kind of people who get up and get on with it and are incredibly capable about doing that. But this time, it is like you have black ink clogged up through you, ice through your veins. You feel like you are literally infected with some deadly psychic virus. Your life force has been sucked out of you. You feel like the living dead. You feel like you've got dementors living inside of you. And this time, you cannot just get up and get on with it. You can't. You are literally going through a spiritual battle for your soul, even if you get away from these people. And this is why a lot of people never get past that. They just live on medication. They've got hopelessness, helplessness, diminished trust in self, life, and others, and capacity to be creative and co-generate anything. And they will scream, well, that's it for me. The best I can do is warn people. It's a lie. It's not true, Dom. You can use this as the most powerful moment of your life of personal catharsis to turn inwards, heal, and free yourself from a soul level. Because if you don't, then you're going to be stuck in that place where your soul keeps screaming at you to come and free me. And when we've got the quantum tools to do it, that's actually when your true life begins. It's kind of like the metaphor of the pearl out of the shell, the grit, the shell, the diamond under heat and pressure. The greatest self is born out of this if you know how to midwife that. And that's what I'm passionate about.
Preach. That's right, Dave. That's right, Dave. She's on fire, baby. That's right, Dave. She's on fire.
You can tell I'm passionate, Tom. I really am. Because it's lived experience. And also, too, the millions of people that I've been involved with for 17 years, I have seen the phoenix from the ashes so many times, even when, contemporarily or medically or financially or age, like there are no limits. If you're still alive, no matter what you've been through, God's source creation has not finished with you yet. There's a bigger plan.
There you go. That's right, indeed. Might be bigger than 3 humpback whales, y'all. It's a bigger plan. That's right, indeed.
It so is. Totally. Yep.
So I'm talking about, Dave. So my goodness, so with all the stuff that you're doing now, what are you excited about over the next 6 to 12 months? Because I know you like to stay in motion.
Gosh, I'm so excited. I live at the top of Australia in Queensland in the oldest rainforest in the world, the Daintree Rainforest. I'm in an amazing, anyway, I'm going to be doing Quanta Freedom Healing, which is my healing process that saved me and so many others. I'm going to be training people in it here. So retreats here, super excited about that. I'm about to release a membership program, which is all about people coming for me once a week with group global healings, where we're going to be ascending out of the 3D trauma abuse matrix of stuck in pain and victimhood into who we really are, a God source self. So I'm passionate about that work. I'm always passionate about people who are traumatized by narcissists getting involved in our beautiful narcissistic abuse recovery program community and our forum to be able to access the tools, the coaching, the support to be able to heal for real from this, because it's very few and far between people who do, and we do here. So, yeah, there's lots to be excited about.
Sounds great indeed. Will there be another book in the works?
No, I would need a ghostwriter, Dom. I'm way too busy. So there's book people, there's publishers who want to, pick me up for a book, and I'm just like, oh, not yet. I've got retreats to build here and other things that are calling, my soul calling me in that direction at the moment. So
Uh, I hear you. Can be a rough undertaking. Requires a lot of dedicated focus and time.
yes, writing a book's a big deal. Anybody out there who's written a book, you will know what I'm talking about. It's I can see why, a lot of people go to islands for 6 months and they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go write my book. But, as a busy person, it's not always that easy to do.
Yeah, definitely not easy indeed. It can be simple, but not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a big deal writing a book. It's a big process. Very rewarding, but, yeah, it's a big process. Mm.
That's right indeed. So my goodness, so since you've been on so many interviews, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're on the guest side of the game?
Gee, that's a hard question, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I think we've got the points across. Yeah, it's gee, I don't know. Like I think, do you know what, for me, for interviews, they always unfold organically. They just really work. I've never got off an interview and thought, oh God, I wish they asked that. Like it just works. I really trust sources large and in charge, and what's meant to happen happens. That's how I live my life.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you indeed. Well, I know you're still a few years separated from it, but I'm sure you got some memories. So, what did writing and publishing your book teach you about yourself?
Oh, it taught me. Oh gosh, it really it very much taught me that I had a message to share and that I needed to get the message because I'm such a quantum healer. So there's very much about taking people out of the mind into the embodied experience and the energetic experience, and to bring the two together in a way that can be understood by anybody. And that was a big challenge. But what was really beautiful to see was when the book got out there, is that people were able to bridge that gap from the logical experience to the embodied experience, and to start to understand that it's the embodied somatic emotional limbic system subconscious programming experience that our brain follows rather than the other way around. So, and it was really great when I worked with Watkins Publishing. I was very passionate about the truth needed to be understood about trauma. And they were really great in helping me be able to put it in ways that was digestible. So I guess that was what I remember from it.
Uh, I love what you said there about embodied experience because it's like, oh yeah, now to think about it, that's probably what a lot of folks desire these days, where they're in a current place. Some folks
Mm.
where they may not like where they currently are, but they aren't fully there where they can embody who they truly want to be yet.
It's so important. Exactly. The monkey mind's got all of these grasping ideas, whereas the embodied is a knowing, and it's a guidance, and it's a connection to a GPS, and it's a connection to the field that starts working with us in a cooperative unity consciousness way, instead of feeling empty and trying to get something from the outside to fix that. Was it George Caitlin said, it's like, strapping sandwiches to your sweater and I'm hoping you've had lunch.
Well, I guess on that note, a fun question for you. So, if your fabulous book, You Can Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse, the number one system for recovering from toxic relationships, if that book were a food, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh, what would it be? It'd be like a soothing soup. It's like a chicken soup when you're sick, and it soothes you and makes you feel held and nurtured and starts healing you.
There you go. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She's a mom for a reason. She knows all about that healing. That's right indeed. That's right, Mama Soup. Sometimes Grandmama Soup.
True.
That's
Mhm.
right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And
Mhm.
that is, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're
Oh my
still
God.
in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh, gosh, if I was 25, I was just thinking of all the fun I could have. Um,
She'll be like, I'll live in Bali this time. It won't leave.
yes, that's right. I'm off partying. Bye. No, 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 no. If I was 25 and I could give myself the advice, do you know what? I would be like, embrace your femininity, but know that you have permission to be fierce and tough and true. And the right people and the right man, will love and value you because you love and value you. That would be the advice I'd give my 25-year-old self.
Sweet. There you go. That's right, indeed. That's right. Embrace your femininity, yo. That's right, indeed. Ladies, day. That's right,
Yeah.
indeed. Embrace it. That's right, indeed. With both arms and legs if you have to. That's right, indeed. Embrace it. That's right,
Yeah.
indeed. That's right, indeed. Don't have to wear the Bob the Builder hat all the time.
No, exactly. And, I love, and I'm going to say, I'm not a feminist. I'm a unity consciousness person, but I love being feminine and I love men to open a door for me and I love them to carry stuff and I love them to build stuff because I'm a girl. I don't want to do it if they can. But also, too, I want to be able to, speak my mind and have an opinion and say, you know what, that's actually not okay, what you said or what you're doing, because I'm here to be revered and valued as somebody that's a wonderful addition and complement to your life. I'm not, somebody to dominate and, vice versa. I'm not here to dominate you. We're here as a team. But, I love you being a guy and I love you being masculine and I love being a woman. And that to me works. And that's a controversial conversation, but I'm unapologetic for that.
Nothing wrong with that, indeed. Speaking your mind, speaking some common sense. Especially love the fact unity consciousness. Because, hey, we're better together. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed.
Oh gosh, of
PB.
course. Of course. Yeah,
Yeah. That's right, indeed. PB and J for some folks, Batman and Robin for some other folks.
that's right. And you know what? For everybody, it's like I believe I'll do me, you do you. And that's fine. But there's no way in this new climate or whatever I'm going to go along with what everybody else thinks I should say. Or I'm me and that's it. And if we're not aligned, we're not aligned. That's okay.
Heck yeah, indeed. That's right, indeed. Because some folks prefer the squiggly lines for some reason, and some just wants to
Yes.
go diagonal.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, God. Yes, or spiraling downwards or gosh knows what. But anyway, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, I think, when you know who you are, then you are much less likely to be controlled by other people who are going to tell you who you are. And that is absolutely, narcissism operates because people are so confused about who they are. They don't have an inner standing of themselves. And if you don't have an inner standing, you're going to fall for anything. So that's just my take on that. I've just had my cat knock the microphone. You're not meant to be in here. She's shown up for the interview. Yeah. Yeah. And you can probably hear the rooster outside. It's quite a farm going on up here.
Well, the cat's
Well,
got good comedic timing, though.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, falling down and the microphone falls. Oh, darn. Okay.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, she's under control. She's got a pat. So she's like, okay, I'll stay there. Mm.
Maybe the cat's getting jealous. Like, hey, I'm supposed to be the lioness here. I'm supposed to be the freaking tiger here.
Yes, that's it. Time for my attention. Yes, cats are narcissistic. Cats own you. You don't own them. Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's true. Dogs assist you in the fight. Cats join the folks beating you up in the fight.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Oh man. Well, before a random donkey comes out of nowhere and wants some attention for a random moment, or should I say, for those who keep in contact with you, what's the best way for folks to do so?
Yeah. Well, I would love people will come over to my website, melanietoniaevans.com. And I've got from there, you can go onto my blog, you can see my YouTube channel, I've got a lot of free content that people can start connecting to and getting some deeper answers with. And also, too, you can sign up to my newsletter, which is on my website, and that's a free newsletter. You'll get 2 free ebooks, and that will start your journey. If you're ready to heal and you want to join our recovery community, then I can't recommend the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program enough. And that's simple. It's melanietoniaevans.com. N for Nelly, A for Apple, R for Robert, P for Peter. Or just Google Melanie Tonia Evans Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program and you'll find it. So, yep. And that gets you into our whole private community with 24/7, 365 support and all of the resources that are going to get you up and out of this torture to the other side faster than you can imagine.
Yeah, faster you can say Aloysius Lewis 8 times in a row. That's right.
Yes, almost. Well, maybe 80 times, but still, it's going to happen.
Well, there you go. That's right, indeed. She had to throw a little AARP on that one. It's like, nah, we're not going with the 8-year-old. We're going with the 80-year-old, y'all. Well, there you have it, folks. Melanie's got you covered like a blanket or three during the winter, indeed. So check out all of her wonderful wares, and we'll be able to do just that. We're going to put links to all of her wonderful things in the show notes so you can do just that and be on the lookout for her retreats as well, indeed, because I'm sure she's got some major things planned, indeed. That's right, indeed. You'll probably feel like an ice cream sundae every day. Well, before you make like a banana and split, any parting words before we close up shop, Melanie?
Oh yeah, look, I say this a lot to people, but because I know people feel helpless, hopeless, there's no hope, and it's the end, and this is a life sentence. How you're feeling and what you've lost, it's not. It doesn't matter your age, what you've lost, how sick you are right now, how many trauma symptoms you've got, how hopeless it feels. I promise you, myself and so many people. I've had people in their 80s where their life was over after 40 narcissists and now living their best life. It's never, ever too late. Your soul, source, creation, God is waiting for you to lose your trauma, align with the light, and then you will reset back to the soul, source person you were always coded to be. That's what I'm passionate about. So I'll show you how to do it because you're meant to.
If you're hearing this part of the episode, that means you're one cool individual. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to share it with at least one other person in your network. Bonus points for 3. And be sure to check out the backlog too while you're at it, because there are hundreds of wonderful episodes to choose from as well.